Afghanistan is a landlocked country in South Asia, bordered by Pakistan to the east and south, Iran to the west, and Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan to the north. Afghans and British Empire had three historical battles. The first, 1839 to 1842, which led to the defeat of entire British-led Indian invaders. The second started in 1879 and ended on 1880, which led to the victory of British, and third started in 1919, which ended the same year and led to the complete defeat of British and resulted in the independence of Afghanistan. This story begins from here. Habibullah Khan. Habibullah was the Amir of Afghanistan from 1991 until 1919, a relatively secular and reform-minded ruler who attempted to modernize his country. Habibullah was assassinated while on a hunting trip at Lagmon province on February 20, 1919, and his third son, Amanullah, became the new king of Afghanistan. Amanullah Khan. Amanullah Khan was the sovereign of the king of Afghanistan from 1919 to 1929. He led Afghanistan to independence over its foreign affairs from the United Kingdom. After Amanullah Khan traveled to Europe in late 1927, opposition to his rule increased in Afghanistan, which resulted uprising, and in 1929 it led to his abdication and went into exile in British India. Later, Habibullah Kalakani became the next king of Afghanistan. Habibullah Kalakani. Kalakani was Emir of Afghanistan from January to October 1929, after deposing Amanullah Khan with the help of various Afghan tribes who opposed modernization of Afghanistan. 9 months later, Kalakani was executed by a firing squad on 1st November 1929 along with his brother and 10 other rebel leaders by Nadir Shah. The bodies were subsequently put on display and Nadir Shah became the next king of Afghanistan. Muhammad Nadir Shah. Nadir was king of Afghanistan from 15 October 1929 until his assassination in November 1933. On 8 November 1933, Nadir Khan was visiting a high school and was shot to death by Abdul Khalik during a graduation ceremony. Abdul Khalik was immediately apprehended and later executed after being tortured. The government used this opportunity to arrest other potential rivals and executed them on charge of plotting the assassination of King Nadir. Muhammad Zahir Shah. Muhammad Zahir Shah was the last king of Afghanistan, running for 4 decades from 1933 until he was ousted by a coup in 1973. In 1973, while Zahir Shah was in Italy undergoing eye surgery, his cousin and former Prime Minister Muhammad Daoud Khan staged a coup and established a republican government. In August 1973, Zahir Shah abdicated rather than risk an all-out civil war, and Daoud became the first president of Afghanistan. Sardar Muhammad Daoud Khan. Daoud was Prime Minister of Afghanistan from 1953 to 1963 and later became the President of Afghanistan. He overthrew the monarchy of his first cousin Muhammad Zahir Shah and declared himself as the first President of Afghanistan from 1973 until his assassination in 1978 as a result of the revolution led by the Communist People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan. Daoud and most of his family were assassinated during a coup by the Communist People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan. The coup happened in the presidential palace on April 28, 1978. Nur Muhammad Taraki. Taraki was an Afghan politician and statesman during Cold War. He was president from 13 April 1978 until 14 September 1979. Taraki was one of the founding members of the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan. and was elected as the party's General Secretary at First Congress. Taraki, along with Hafizullah Amin, the organizer of the revolution, and Babrak Karmal, initiated the revolution and established the Communist Democratic Republic of Afghanistan. His relation with Amin turned sour during his rule. Ultimately, Taraki was murdered on 14 September 1979 by Amin's order, suffocating by pillows in the presidential palace, and Amin became the new president of Afghanistan. Hafizullah Amin. Amin was an Afghan politician and statesman during the Cold War. He came to power by ordering the death of his predecessor, Nur Muhammad Taraki. The revolt against communist rule, which had begun under Taraki, worsened under Amin and was a problem that his government was unable to solve. The Soviet Union, which alleged that Amin was an agent of CIA, intervened in Afghanistan on behalf of the 20-year treaty of friendship between Afghanistan and the Soviet Union. Amin was assassinated by the Soviets in December 1979 as part of Operation Storm 333, having ruled for slightly longer than 3 months. Babrak Karmal. Karmal was an Afghan politician and statesman during the Cold War. When the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan was formed, Karmal became one of its leading members and eventually became the leader of Parcham faction. Karmal was appointed deputy chairman of the Revolutionary Council in the communist government. After the rise of conflicts between Amin and Karmal, he was sent to Prague as exile, and he remained in exile until December 1979. On the evening of 27 December, Yuri Andropov, the chairman of KGB, congratulated Karmal on his appointment to the chairmanship of the Presidium of the Revolutionary Council to stabilize the situation in the country. Dr. Muhammad Najibullah. Najib was president of Afghanistan from 1987 until 1992, when the Mujahideen took over Kabul. Following the revolution, Najibullah was a low-profile bureaucrat who was sent to exile during Hafizullah Amin's rise to power as ambassador to Iran. He returned to Afghanistan following the Soviet invasion, which toppled Amin's rule and placed Babrak Karmal as head of state. Mikhail Gorbachev, the last Soviet leader, was able to get Karmal to step down as PDP General Secretary in 1989. And replaced him with Najibullah. For a number of months, Najibullah was locked in a power struggle against Karmal, who still retained his post of chairman of the Revolutionary Council. Sibghatullah Mujahideen. Mujahideen served as president of the Islamic State of Afghanistan after the fall of Muhammad Najibullah's government in April 1992. In May 1992, Burhanuddin Rabbani established a new leadership council. This council undermined Mujahideen's leadership, resulting in his resignation and handing power over to a new council. Burhanuddin Rabbani. Rabbani was president of Islamic State of Afghanistan from 1992 to 1996. After the Taliban government was toppled during Operation Enduring Freedom, Rabbani returned to Kabul and served as temporary president from November to December 2001. He was one of the earliest founders and movement leaders of Mujahideen in the late 1970s, right before the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. On 20 September 2001, Rabbani was assassinated by a suicide bomber entering his home in Kabul. Mullah Muhammad Umar. Often simply called Mullah Umar, he was Afghanistan's de facto 11th head of state from 1996 to late 2001. Under the official title head of the Supreme Council, he held the title commander of the faithful of the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, which was recognized by only 3 nations, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. During his tenure as Emir of Afghanistan, Umar seldom left the city of Kandahar and rarely met with outsiders, instead relying on Foreign Minister Wakil Ahmad Mutawakkil for the majority of diplomatic necessities. He was Amir of Afghanistan from 27 September 1996 until 13 November 2001. Hamid Karzai. Karzai is the 12th and current president of Afghanistan, taken office on 22 December 2001. He became a dominant political figure after the removal of Taliban regime in late 2001. During the December 2001 International Conference on Afghanistan in Germany, Karzai was selected by prominent Afghan political figures to serve a 6-month term as chairman of the interim administration. He was then chosen for a 2-year term as interim president during the 2002 assembly that was held in Kabul, Afghanistan. After the 2004 presidential election, Karzai was declared to win and become president of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. He won a second 5-year term in 2009 presidential election.